today's episode of PJ and the Beard. Again, we have a very astute audience. I figure you can figure out who's who. In a past episode, we did 2 pedals and a guitar. What 2 pedals and a guitar would you take if you got called for a last-minute gig? And in that episode, we both brought PRSs. We both brought our number ones, which are PRSs. And we thought for today's episode, it might be interesting if we go a little deeper in our collection and pick out another guitar that we like that maybe is not number one. And what we're going to do is, the particular guitar we're going to talk to you about today is Jason's, the Beard's. And I've briefly played it before we started, but he's going to play it, talk about it, and then he's going to hand it to me, and I'm going to have to play the guitar he bought, and we're going to set it through some pedals. So he's going to talk about the story of how he acquired it, and then we'll talk about what gear we're using to film this, and then at some point he'll hand it to me.
Okay. Well, so what we have is a Supro. Let's hold that up a little bit. A Supro Hampton. I think there's a letter in there, like a Supro Hampton B for the black or something like that. So this is a 2016. So they came out about, I actually think 2-3 years ago is when they were released. And the day they were released, I started watching these because this 3 pickup thing here kind of caught my eyes. And there was some other thing that caught my eyes about them. I was like, you know what? They look cool, but the list price on them, I think, is about $1,200. So just started watching them, and then you know what, it was Black Friday. Like Black Friday, watching Reverb and looking at sales, somebody on Reverb had put on a sale on one of these. Now, interesting, I had this particular one in my watch list from a company that I bought another guitar from a while back, and they had it for $900. They had dropped it to $500, which was like a good deal. But the sale price of the other company was $399.
Take one in every color.
Right. So I emailed. You can make on Reverb. You can make offers. So I don't even think you could make an offer on it. I just emailed them. Sent the seller a message. Said, "Look, bought a guitar from you before. I know I can trust you. It's one of the Music Go Round places. I want to say it's in Kansas, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'll put it in the notes. Because they're great guys. And so I said, somebody else has it for this price. Would you match? I trust you guys." They said, sure. They matched it. Free shipping, $399 to the door. And
gig bag?
No gig bag. No,
box, gig box, cardboard box.
Cardboard box, paper. They wrapped it nice. They packed it good. They did a nice job. And I gotta tell you, I'm so impressed. I'm overwhelmed. Because you buy, sometimes you buy these things on a whim or whatever, or you see them and they look cool and you think they're going to, but you take them to rehearsal, you play them, and then you're back to number one. You're back to the PRS. You're back to the other guitar. This guitar has got, since I picked it up, since it got here probably a week after Black Friday, it's got a lot of playtime.
Mm-hmm, it is.
I keep going back to it. I wouldn't trade it for my PRS, but it does some things that are pretty unique. And so a little bit more about it, thinking about it. 3 pickups, 5-way selector switch. So basically Strat setup, position 1, bridge, position 2, bridge middle, 3, middle, 4, neck and middle, and then 5 would be the neck. So set up like a Strat. I think the thing here though that's really kind of cool, and if you haven't ever checked it out, you should, are these 3 gold foil pickups. So I'm kind of feeling like this is the best Strat I have.
And I don't know what's all in frame, but there are 2 Strats up there on the wall.
Right. There's an American Deluxe Strat from like 99 that my wife hates the color of, so I'm not allowed to take it anywhere and play it. Because that matters.
You can say that because she's not watching, because the purpose of this channel is to talk about gear with you, because our spouses are tired about talking about gear.
Right. Teal, green, transparent is too much of an 80s color for her. And then there's a white Strat that's an American Strat that I got because I wasn't allowed to take the green one places, but I've never really been able to bond with it. Never, they sound great playing at home, but I take them when I get in a playing situation. I always tell Pat I feel like I took a knife to a gunfight. Sorry guys, can't do it. But this has been different. So let's run through, before we hand it over to Pat, we'll run through a couple things. I thought it'd be cool just to hear the pickups. Starting back here on pickup, bridge pickup, just play something. And I think play the same riff, and I'll just flip through all the pickups. Mm-hmm. Try to play the same riff over and over, but there's no way I'll be able to do it.
Nope.
So if we get like And I can't talk while we play, so I gotta be quiet. Did it too long because I messed it up the first time. That sounds great.
That does sound good. And remind everybody what amp we're playing through over here.
I said it wrong last time.
Did you?
Yeah. I called it a deluxe reverb. It's a Hot Rod Deluxe. Fender
It could be anything we want it to be because it's off camera.
Yeah. Fender Hot Rod 112 Deluxe.
It's a Dumble.
All right, so that's that second pickup, which I think sounds killer.
Yep.
Third pickup. Fourth. That one
Not a
sounds
bad
good.
one so far.
There you go. So, I mean, just the pickups real quick. They sound great. I love them. I love these gold foil pickups. And one of the things I really like about it, and where it's been getting used a lot, is on Sunday morning with the worship band. I did take it to a blues jam. I wasn't as happy at the blues jam. I'll admit it. I'll throw it out there. Probably wouldn't take it to the blues jam or play with a blues situation with it that much. Maybe, depending on what we're doing. But just for a jam, couple songs, not so much. Sunday morning, loving it. And so one of the things I love about it, rhythm guitar wise, when you're playing those big chords, is that it just cuts.
Mm-hmm. And it's not shrill. It sits nicely. Even the one position, I tend to roll a little tone off of the one no matter what guitar I'm playing. That was straight up just normal, and it didn't make your head go sideways like a dog. We just heard a high noise.
Right.
So if you can get that out of one, that's pretty nice.
So if we throw on, we grabbed a couple pedals here. Grab some more expensive ones. Grab some cheaper ones. So you have a overdrive. We're using the King of Tone today. Delay. Pat likes Tape Echo. He likes those long echoes, so we grabbed this Wampler Tape Echo pedal, which is really cool. And then for a little extra reverb, this tri-reverb from, I think it's Biyang or something.
Biyang!
This is kind of like the I don't know if we put the Joyo pedal out episode out yet or not, but kind of in that line of a cheap pedal made overseas that really just sounds awesome. Like, it sounds great. So let's throw some reverb and tape echo on this, hit some big chords just to see what they sound like. So we'll go up in the fourth position and some big chords, right? We have recorded in the ditto some chords, and I think we're doing like a E,
C sharp minor, B,
C sharp minor, B, A. So if we
it's
hit
an
those,
accidental ode to Prince, I think. If you start singing Purple Rain, it's not my fault.
throw on some overdrive, and I'm going to roll the volume back about half, which is another thing I like about this. I can still use my overdrive pedal, leave it on all the time, roll the volume back, and still get that. Let's see. So trying to hit those slow just so you can hear, like, one of the things, gears, like gear reviews, watching gear on these YouTube channels, so the weekend warrior perspective. We go and we watch these things, they sound great, we buy them, we think this is it, this is going to work in my rig, it's going to be real nice. You get it out, you put it in a playing situation, and all of a sudden it's totally different. And so, at least that's what I found. It's like things sit in the mix differently sometimes than you would expect them to sit in the mix,
Right.
playing by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I found with this guitar is it just like kind of floats right there in the mix. Floats right over top. The single strings cut through. It blends in real nice. Love it. And so where my knife to a gunfight analogy would come in, like why taking a Strat sometimes is painful for me because I can't. It's just me. The Strats are awesome guitars. I love them. I've been dying. I want to get with one. For you Strat people out there that are about to flame me in the comments about how wonderful the Strats are. They're great guitars. I own
Don't worry,
two.
Strat people checked out when you said this is the best Strat you own. It was
Right.
like, click.
Sorry, bye. Whenever you'd get into the lead tone, that's where I struggle with because I'm so used to playing with humbuckers. And I find with this, even though it's a little thinner, it's a little more single coil tone, I can get with it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not going to noodle too much here, but if I leave that stuff on and we hit on the Ode to Prince, which we did totally unintentional.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional.
But if we hit that, you know, you can hear me playing over it, which is going to sound totally different than Pat playing over it. But you can see maybe what I mean, that the humbucker, it's not a humbucker. Yeah.
Let's show them.
Show 'em.
I'm going to show you my skills here. I can push the ditto looper like this.
You get the idea.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because I've heard you play humbuckers most of the time that we've played together, and that fits you. That works.
I don't know why. It works.
For
So, I mean,
$400.
I mean, I'll be honest. So we're talking about a guitar that's made in Indonesia. First time I handed it to Pat, he said, "Wow, you know, like, I guess the analogy we came up to, you expect it to feel like you're picking up." Man, I'm afraid to say it because I don't want to get flamed. Yeah, some import guitars have that. You know, just there's a feeling to them. Not that it's bad because there's a lot of really great import guitars, but they have that feeling like you can feel the
like
frets
they
are
made it
a
out
little
of,
over.
you feel like they made it out of a countertop. Sometimes it doesn't have any musicality to it. They're kind of sterile.
And
that's my take. I just jumped on your take, but that's
I don't feel like
about
that
sometimes.
I didn't point this out. You got that nice matte finish on the back of the net.
I thought it's because you played it so much since you got it that you wore it out, but yeah. But
No.
nice piano gloss black finish.
I think we can leave you plugged into.
Yeah, leave me play it. I can play on that, I guess. So now that's the real fun part where you play coldish on YouTube Live.
I know.
I'm gonna switch around just a little bit here, and just play.
was nice.
That was kind of abrupt, but yeah, I mean, it's great. Like, I tried to go through several of the pickups, and when I did get down to the bridge, I did try to roll the tone back, lost a little more volume than I planned on, but I love it. That was the second time I played this guitar, and I'm not sure I could go for the whole full, $1,000 sticker price. $400's a bargain. Even $600 for something like this would be fantastic. So that's kind of what we had for you today. Stay tuned for another episode where my potential number 2-ish, somewhere in the herd, will come out. And Jason has not ever played this Duesenberg, so
I've never touched that guitar.
Don't touch it now because we want to have like a pure, unadulterated feeling for that guitar.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
no,
I know.
No pressure at all.
Yeah, I got to play the Supro before, but so that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to just sit down, talk about guitars that we like, and one that was a pleasant surprise, and a diamond in the rough, or hidden treasure, which we're going to do hidden treasure episodes at some point. That we could have held this guitar off for that, but
I gotta say, this is the best. $400 aside,
right?
The last couple guitars I've purchased, and there's been some cool ones like Epiphone 339. Redid some of the electronics in it. Cool guitar, whatever. There's been some cool guitars. Of the last guitars I've purchased, this is the most surprised I've been and liking the best. It's cool.
So you want to tell them the spiel?
Well, I mean, the spiel is simple,
If you're still with us.
Yeah, if you last this long. And we've been talking a lot about this. Should we shorten this up? What should we do? You know what? This is two guys sitting on the couch. I don't know if you noticed, we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And it was about time we do something that we had fun doing.
Right.
And so we joke about our wives not wanting to hear us talk about gear anymore, but on the down low,
they're very supportive.
they're pretty cool. And now they're hearing about YouTube. So
yes, that is the funny transition that has happened.
Right. They're not hearing us talk about gear. They have to watch us talk about gear now.
Now they're hearing about condenser mics and diffused lighting and all kinds of stuff.
So if you want, subscribe. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Join the journey with us a little bit. Leave some comments. Tell us what is your. I think a great comment would be what guitar have you bought or owned that has just totally kind of shocked you.
Yep.
That is not one, because I'm telling you right now, this isn't high on the list of praise and worship guitars. Right. It doesn't say.
Right.
What is it? Doesn't say. It doesn't say sure. Doesn't say
right.
Or sir. It doesn't say whatever. But man, great guitars. So tell us what you have, and
yeah, leave comments. We want to hear from you. So with that, I am PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you that no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear, even if it's a $400